We're all set to go to Mesa City.
Wait, right.
okay.
Sorry, I thought it was just going to take me to a map.
Hi guys, welcome back.
Sorry, my bad. I accidentally clicked X.
It had been a while since I'd been back in the U.S. Next up, the notorious mugshot. Ruthless muscle of the Fiendish Five. What he lacked in brains, he definitely made up for in brawn. Turns out he wasn't always that way. He grew up as the run of the litter. A neighborhood weakling. The only friends he could turn to were usually found on the big screen. It was there that he spotted his first gangster, and he knew instantly that that's what he wanted to be.
Okay, I know it's a lame pun, but I love the dog father.
Yeah.
Working real hard to get there, fueled on his dreams of great power and respect. With enough perspiration, he realized that dream. He'd become a hard-boiled, street-brawling, tough-as-nails gangster, ensuring that he'd never be picked on or pushed around again. So he's holed up in Mesa City, huh? I've always wanted to go to that thriving American boom town.
Sly Cooper in Sunset. Snake Eyes. So we had a quick intro, but hi guys, welcome back to Sly Cooper, the Thievius Raccoonus. We're in Mesa City now. Pug gambling is a trophy. I played this on PlayStation 2, so these trophies are kind of humorous to me.
Yeah, so anyway, you were saying something before I accidentally started the game, or...
Oh, do you want that?
Or was that an off-screen thing?
I mean, it could be an off-screen thing. I just thought it was humorous because I was on Twitter in between episodes and I saw these two content creators I watch, and the husband was basically like, hey, I'm playing... Sorry, dude. I'm playing Banjo-Kazooie with my wife. She's never played it. Banjo-Kazooie was his favorite game, and so he's like, this will be her first time playing my favorite game ever. And then someone was like, I'm kind of shocked that she hasn't played it considering you guys are married. And she kind of replied like, he hasn't finished my favorite game of all time either. And then she coughed and was like, Tales of Symphonia.
Well, it seems like we have the same favorite game then.
This looks more like a ghost town.
Something's happened. Where is everyone?
I don't know, but it's starting to give me the creeps. What do you say we take off?
And miss all the fun? Besides, I want to try out that new move I got from Raleigh's section of the Thievius Raccoonus.
You mean the ninja spire jump?
Yeah, do me a favor and read me the instructions again.
To landeth safely upon diminutive points, leapeth lively and presseth the triggering device with the round geometrical object emblazoned upon it.
So jump and hit the circle button to land on narrow spots.
That's a rough translation.
Okay.
This is one, I love doing this for some dumb reason. And now you're perched on top of it. Yay!
So, I mean, I know that the costume that the ancestor was wearing, he's meant to be dressed as a ninja, but I'm not gonna lie, it kind of reminded me, it's like, Sly Assassin's Creed.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
And yes, this game, I'm fully aware that it way predates Assassin's Creed.
Well, which one? What was the first Assassin's Creed game?
2008, 2009.
Interesting. But again, I mean, there were stealth games beforehand, but...
I mean, I think a lot of people have pointed out that Assassin's Creed kind of fundamentally replaced the Prince of Persia games.
Oh yeah, I did see the first one of those. Again, one of those stealth games that my cousin played.
I've only ever played one Prince of Persia, and it was,
Was that the first one?
No, it was a remake. It was the Wii version of... Because, yeah, since the Wii didn't have the same processing capabilities as the other, I think it was called Warrior Within, or at the very least, the Wii version of that one.
Interesting.
I didn't care for it, but as far as I know, that's a legitimately bad installment of the franchise, so I try not to judge it too harshly.
That's also what I've heard, and that's coming from a cousin who absolutely loved playing the first one. I mean, it's been a while. This was when we were kids. I say kids, but it was a long time ago is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
But, basically, like... she like was interested in like playing the other Prince of Persia games, but she heard like the other ones weren't as good as that one, the one that she played, and so she kind of was like, well, that's just a shame.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I heard, is that much like some of the Assassin's Creed game for a while, I heard that they really dipped in quality after a while. Well, then again, a lot of games, it's actually kind of amazing if you think about it, just how Nintendo's long-running series in general have just managed to keep their quality overall.
Yeah, it depends on who you ask. Some people will disagree, but I think that they've been up, like their quality has still been pretty consistent for the most part.
Because, like, again, I'm just going to use, like, Crash, Spyro, and Sly here. Again, having played little to none of the games, like in the case of Crash, having not played any of them, it seems like most people say the series all three of those series get bad around the fourth game, and then they kind of end up disappearing after a while. Now,
well, I mean,
obviously, you know, Crash and Spyro, they've gotten their remakes that have renewed interest in them, but yet Nintendo's properties, they've stayed pretty strong practically since their inception.
Yeah, keep in mind, though, that the fourth game was made by an entirely different studio.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
And when that happens, they will have different takes on a series franchise.
And I mean, I guess, like, the nice thing about that Nintendo has is that they're a game developer as well as a distributor, whereas I don't know if Sony actually develops any of, you know, any personal...
The PlayStation?
Well, let me rephrase that. I don't know if they actually make games for their own console, if that makes sense.
They do, PlayStation. Well, I mean, I don't know about that. No, well, there are PlayStation exclusives.
Yeah. But, like, just for example, and this is me, as someone who didn't get a first PlayStation console he owned, was the 3, and that was just because most of the Tales games, well, my wife wanted it, but besides that, it's because most of the Tales games were on the PlayStation, so it's like, okay, I have to own it for that. But just based on the people I knew who had it, like, the big IP for PlayStation was
You
Final
can
Fantasy.
kill the dogs, by the way.
I can or can't?
You can.
Okay. But the big IP that I was always told about was Final Fantasy, which was a third-party IP. So that's just kind of what I mean, is that for the most part... dang it! I mean, I think even, like, take Halo, which is Xbox's big thing. It's owned by... Well, it's not Bungie anymore. I don't know who the new company is. But, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, as I'm not the most knowledgeable about licensing and whatnot. And
I
how
think
that
what you're
works.
trying to say is that you like that Nintendo's been having good quality games.
Yeah, but I'm also just kind of... Well, I'm definitely liking that. I'm just shocked that PlayStation doesn't have... I wasn't in the air. That was my fault.
You were in the air.
Oh.
I'll be honest, I never used the dive ability, so I'm just like intrigued on how you've been using it. Anyway, continue.
But yeah, I'm just legitimately surprised that... Because, like, I've been watching some Cat Icarus a lot just because he's posted, like, his whole seasons in, like, long 5-hour compilations to just kind of watch in the background. So do these guys take 2 hits or what?
No, they take one. Just don't do an upward dive attack.
But yeah, it just surprises me to hear just about all these other characters I heard about growing up, but just never played because I didn't have a PlayStation, just how they seem to vanish over the years and didn't have the staying power of...
You should pay attention to what they're saying, I'm sorry.
Nice touch.
They're safe to walk on while flashing, but it also means they're about to switch to a different sector.
There you go. Continue.
Yeah, it's just, I genuinely find it bizarre that all these other PlayStation IPs just didn't really have the staying power, you know?
Well, I think it's like it goes both ways, because if you're used to Nintendo consoles, then you know those IPs more. If you're used to PlayStation, you're used to those IPs. We literally had a discussion today in my work chat where my boss was basically like, I'm thinking of what we can do for our next team competition. It might be something Splatoon related. And I kid you not, there were about 4 people in the chat who said, "What's Splatoon?" They didn't know.
Yeah.
And then that's because they're used to other consoles. Those are more memorable to them than Nintendo. Mm-hmm. So it's just a matter of like what you personally like invest most of your time in.
And it also, with the IPs. Hi, I'm back.
Hi! I'm glad you're back!
With some IPs, it's while Nintendo has staying power, you can also probably leave that as their success in the console wars. Really? Because I mean, IPs can stick around, but if the market's not buying it, why should the IP stick around?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, the biggest IP that I can think of for Macintosh is Halo.
You mean
but
Microsoft?
Microsoft, yeah, excuse me. Is Halo, but I'm sure they still have a few more. I just don't know that market. I didn't touch Xbox till we got married.
Yeah, I don't know Xbox very much either, but I have a cousin-in-law who, like, that's what he grew up on. So whenever I, like, talk about, like, I don't know this thing about Xbox or this Xbox game, he kind of just looks at me, he's like, what?
Excuse you? Yeah,
I mean,
and that's
honestly-
But that, I mean, he married my cousin, so he's kind of realized that all of us never consumed Xbox until we literally met him.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
How are... Yeah.
Go on.
I mean, I got an Xbox over a PlayStation because, I mean, I didn't know about the Tales games on PlayStation at the time, but because at the time, all my friends had Xboxes, and it's like, oh, Xbox has Left 4 Dead 2, it's got Halo, since, well, I never played 1 and 2. Well, okay, I played 2 with friends, but that was about it. But
Fuck.
yeah, I mean, as tired as I feel Halo is, Halo Reach is one of my favorite games. Like, I just really liked the main story. I really liked Noble 6. Like, yeah, there's a lot I liked about Halo Reach.
So I think it's unfair to say that Nintendo has the better IPs.
I never said better. I said I'm surprised that Nintendo's IPs have stuck around, whereas it just doesn't seem like the PlayStation ones, like Crash and Spyro, have. That's what I said.
Yeah, and I think it's probably due to Nintendo has not as much third-party developers doing their IPs. If there's third-party developers involved with the Nintendo systems, it's usually from another company, and it's multi-platform, so. I came in like mid-conversation, so I missed some of the stuff.
no, it's okay. I think you made good points.
I didn't know exactly what the conversation was.
I think you made good points. So you're good.
Perfect.
Yeah, the consoles I had were Nintendo stuff and PlayStation stuff.
Right, I can walk on the
same.
blinking.
PlayStation stuff was honestly one of the biggest reasons was probably Kingdom Hearts.
Same though. It took forever to convince my mom to get us a PS2 just because I was like, Mother, you don't understand. So
Yeah.
when I told her Disney characters are in it, Mother, she's like, okay. We can
Yeah,
get a PlayStation.
I actually don't know how we got a PlayStation. Like, I know how we kind of got other ones, but I don't really know how we got PlayStation ones.
Yeah, we were basically just one console, which was pure Nintendo, and it really wasn't until I moved out to college, and I know a big part of the reason why I'm like, I need a PlayStation, or I need a different console, was because it's like, okay, Zelda was always a go-to game that kept me going with video games, and I have been very public about my disdain of Skyward Sword. I'm like, okay, Zelda's not doing it for me anymore. I need to branch out a bit more.
Oh, kill this enemy and then I'm gonna help you with something.
Enemy?
Enemy. Sorry, I thought there was one enemy.
I know, I was just...
Don't jump! Okay, that works. Oh my gosh, you scared me. There's a rail you can grab. It's literally above. You press jump
hi!
and press circle.
Look at that!
Oh, that terrified me. I thought you couldn't make it. I apologize for yelling. I'm sorry.
That probably was a safer bet. But...
I was like, ah! I'm sorry.
Oh, that was awesome.
Legit scared
So,
me.
by the way, is this what developers think Utah's like?
Honestly, given that they said we're going to Mesa, I'm pretty sure they meant to say Arizona.
No, it's Utah, dang it!
But then again, our roads are always under construction, so maybe this is accurate.
It's always a desert. It's the desert area. Arizona's our, like, next door neighbor. It's fine.
It's fine!
But Arizona doesn't have this road problems because they have one temperature. So I can
It's
swing-
fine. We're in the desert.
I didn't swing enough.
So, how many bottles do you have?
Wrong button. 33.
Okay, interesting.
Why?
Keep going, I think. Whoop.
I'm glad that they think Utah's full of dogs.
Yeah, there's so many puppies in this. There's so many puppers. They're all evil and they want to kill you, but there's so many puppers.
All right.
Do you have?
There's 2 more. I'm missing 2 though.
Yeah.
Where happened that ability that showed you where bottles were?
That was in, you got the map for Raleigh's area.
No!
You didn't get the map for Mugshot's area.
Fuck a heck. I thought it was a ability we had.
No. Got a map for Raleigh's area.
Ah, you Kurt. I swung this time.
I wonder if the controls, like I wonder if something similar happened with Donkey Kong 64 being imported to the Wii, and how because it's like an emulation of the controls are weird, because I've never had that problem before. I've never had these problems before.
Oh. I thought I was just far enough away from it.
Oops.
Oops.
Oops the doosel.
Hello.
Well, I mean, took me back farther, so... Oh, hello, horseshoe.
Yeah. That can
Why is it a horseshoe of all things?
Look, Lucky Horseshoe.
Okay, what does that have?
Luck-
Okay, let's
Lucky.
take
It's like an extra life. That's where the safe is.
Huh?
The safe is up there.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Oh. Correct. Where?
Yeah, but Lucky Horseshoe. It's like 9 lives. Cat, is it sort of laggy?
I think it's, there is there a superstition around raccoons?
Yeah, I just don't know what it is.
So, probably around that type of idea.
Yeah, but
Either that or maybe thieves are superstitious?
I mean,
don't
I'll
know.
tell you right now, horseshoes don't come back, so...
Well, we got that horseshoe.
No, I mean, like, horseshoes don't come back in the future games. Because you actually have health.
Oh.
This is the only game where you can die in one hit.
Okay. Oh, there's a bottle.
There's one.
Hello. Hello. Hello, little bottle. This is the game, by the way. But sometimes it's fun to, like, try to find all the bottles in one go.
Smack.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Well, we'll look for the bottle, guys, and we'll get the safe when we come back. Sound good?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, dear.
Get out.
Bye, guys.